As usual, I'm gonna start discussing what I have planned here on the left hand side. I have 10 different things to tell you, and please bear with me until I finish. When I finished, you'll have more than enough time to ask me questions, or if you want to add something, some more information that I probably missed, will be fantastic, because as you know, this stream will be watched after that from many people and they can learn from our mistakes. So the topic today, top 10 motorcycle travel mistakes and how to avoid them. Even though I've talked about these mistakes many times on my channel, even on some of the streams, it is not going to hurt if we do it again together with you guys, because as I said, you might add some valuable information that will help to many people after that. So mistake number 1, wrong motorcycle. I'm sure that you have heard me talk about it many times, but it is so important to have the correct motorcycle for you. As we discussed here with Richard, he bought exactly what he needs. The motorcycle is supposed to be exactly for you, for your size, not too big or too small. If you're a big guy like me, 185, 105 kilograms, it is obvious that I am not for a 300cc motorcycle. I need something bigger if I want to travel. It's not that I cannot. Now, for example, in South America, I'm gonna ride this 300cc Honda, but this is different situation, different exceptions of the rules. This is the cheaper option that I can have to see South America. But if you want to buy a motorcycle for you and you're gonna ride it in your area, especially when you buy a new motorcycle, it should be the proper motorcycle for you, to be easy and simple for you to travel. Too big or too small for your size, it's not an option. You have to buy exactly what you need. And don't listen anyone, don't listen so-called YouTube experts that will tell you, no, for you it's only GS 1200 or 1250, or for you it's Honda 300cc. So the opinion of everyone is based only on his or her experience. And if you're not the same size, and if you don't have the same type of trips, and if you don't have the same skills, his or her opinion is absolutely pointless to you. So go out, try some models and see what exactly works for you. And of course, always keep in mind that the lighter you are, the better. Even if you plan to buy a big GS 1250, at least buy the normal version. Don't go to the adventure version, because you're gonna have another 10 or 15 kilograms extra on the top of already heavy motorcycle. So the lighter you are, the better. The same, of course, means about the luggage as well, but we're gonna discuss this a little bit later. And finally, only you know exactly what you need. That's why I said don't listen all the experts, don't listen me either. I can tell you that Tenere 700 is fantastic bike, maybe the best motorcycle for me to travel around the world, as I do at the moment, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be the best for you. If you're 170, you cannot even touch the ground. And all of my advice is absolutely nothing, rubbish, because you have different sizes and different preferences. You might like to travel only with your wife, only on good asphalt roads, so you don't need Tenere. For you will suit much better something like a Yamaha Tracer, for example. If you want to go to Yamaha, it will be nice. Tracer 9 GT, very nice for 2 people, 17-inch front wheel, nice power, all extras, all features, everything. So that's why it's so pointless. And this is where people make a lot of mistakes. They listen someone, they got the motorcycle and they start travel. And as I said, this is mistake number 1, a wrong motorcycle. When you have the wrong motorcycle, the whole journey, the whole experience is going to be compromised. Because if you don't feel comfortable with this motorcycle because it's too big for you or too small, when you don't feel safe with this motorcycle because it's too big or too small for you, then the whole journey is ruined. You'll fare all the time, so it's not gonna be pleasure. The second mistake that many people do, even I did it many times, I will do it maybe again now in South America, is to have too many kilometers with not enough time. This is a classic mistake, especially for new travelers. If you don't have time, just limit the kilometers. You cannot see everything at the same time. So if the time is limited, if you have only 2 weeks of traveling, Limit the kilometers. Make something like 3 to maximum 500 kilometers per day. More than that, it's not going to be fun at all. And you will, as I said, you're going to compromise the whole journey. You're going to compromise your safety. You're going to compromise your comfort. You're going to compromise your pleasure, everything. Now, for example, I planned around 30,000 kilometers for 3 months trip around South America, but I have an option to make it longer. So I said 3 months, like a roughly, but I'm not gonna go back if I need to stay another 2 weeks or something like that. So I can extend it a little bit more. My time is a little bit more flexible. That's why it's so important. Plan the kilometers that are affordable, the kilometers that you can really make and still visit the places or the countries that you plan to visit with in more relaxable way. When you try to see everything, you'll see nothing at the end if you plan too many kilometers and you don't have enough time. And mistake number 3 is to take too much luggage. Again, it's a classic mistake for new riders. They fear that they might need something. They might need, oh, I might need my camping bag. Oh, I might need another pillow. I might need another jacket, or I might need spare pants, or maybe another set of shoes. They always fear that they miss something and they want to take everything. But when you have too much luggage, it's too many problems on the road. You'll be too heavy. And as I said already before, with the wrong motorcycle choice, the lighter you are, the better. It is the same for the luggage. The lighter you are, the better. I explained many times on my channel and even on these streams that 3 t-shirts are more than enough. You don't need 7 t-shirts for 7 days. 3 t-shirts are more than enough for 3 days, 7 days, 1 month, 3 months. They all be the same, and every t-shirt supposed to have multiple purposes. You can ride with this t-shirt, but you can also walk around with the same t-shirt. And if you think that if they are not enough, you can wash them always. And if they are not enough, or if you cut it, lose it, or destroy one of your t-shirts, you can always buy it on the road. There are t-shirts everywhere around the world. They're not going to be exactly what you need, but they will do the job. So the lighter you are, the better. So this is number 3, too much luggage. Try to be as polished as possible, and you'll see that the life is going to be much easier. Number 4, traveling without any plans. I talk about it all the time. I honestly cannot believe that there are people that try to travel without any plans, but in fact they are. And it might sound like a great adventure, but in reality it is not. You will lose a lot of time. If you travel without any plans, you will lose a lot of time because you don't know how properly to set your time, which is mean that you don't have plans. I'm gonna wake up now. So you wake up and then I'm gonna start from where you gonna go, how many kilometers today, where you gonna eat, where you gonna sleep. You don't have any plans, so you're gonna waste a lot of time if you travel without plans. You will gain many pointless kilometers, or both at the same time, kilometers and time, because you have no plans. You're gonna backtrack many times, because if I want to visit this country, I can make my plan. Let's say, okay, I will go on the west coast, and then I'm gonna see some places here, and then go to the top north, and return back to the east coast, and meanwhile I'm gonna visit a few more places around the country, and then make a nice loop. But this is already a plan. If you travel without plans and want to see all different places, you can have instead of 10,000, 30,000 kilometers and still see nothing. Which is one of my next points, that it's not that you're gonna cost you more time, but you're gonna see less things on the road. And you will risk way more, because when you don't have any plans, you don't know what to expect from different areas, or different regions, or different countries. For example, it might be very dangerous area that people never go, but because you travel without any plans, you'll hit it right away, and you might have a problem. You might lose even your life if you go to a dangerous or war zone without any plans. This is the things that happens. And of course, all of this traveling without plans will always cost you more, because when you're wasting your time is money. When you're wasting, or when you gain kilometers that you don't need, kilometers and petrol is also money. So in general, traveling without plan will cost you more money. So always make a good plan in advance, and this will help you a lot. Mistake number 5 is risk in the name of the adventure. I have seen people do it all the time, even though some of them understand what it is, but it looks like not. Nothing is more important than you. If you don't believe me, ask your family. Explain to them, I wanted to go to this very dangerous hill climbing with my motorcycle, even though I risked to go down, to hurt myself, even to die. But I think that this is more important than my family. So ask your family and they will tell you. They will always tell you that, what the hell are you thinking? We're expecting you at home to come back home safe in one piece, but you're taking such a risky activities just to prove what? That's why I said, if you think that something is more important than you, ask your family and they'll see what is the result. There will be always a place and time for everything. If you want to go some extreme riding or hill climbing or whatever dangerous extreme riding conditions to cover, you can always do it when you're at home, or when you're very close to your home, when you have friends with you, when you have a control situation, when if you have let's say accident, you can rely on your friends and you can receive help and you can go back to the local hospital and everything is going to be all right. But don't do it when you're so far away on the trips. So don't risk in the name of the adventure. The adventure will find you one way or another. And don't try to be like this new wave for these motorcycle travelers that got YouTube channels like me. And don't be like them, because I have seen some of my colleagues make some very dangerous trips and risk in many places, in many situations, just in the names of more views on their channel. So don't be like them. If you have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube or whatever, all of this, it doesn't matter if you hurt yourself. Everything will stop. Yeah, you might have a moment peak from all of the people that will come to see your bad situation, but what about after that? You won't be able to travel anymore. You might be hurt permanently. You might have disability or something like that. For what? For more likes and views? This is just stupid. Don't be like that. The next one, number 6. 6 is a mistake that many people do, and I've seen it. I've done it many times as well, is to have a wrong gear choice for long trips. This is nothing worse than bad gear on a long trip. Nothing worse, because you're gonna feel it hour after hour, week after week, month after month. When the gear is not comfortable for you, you're gonna feel it all the time, and you're gonna suffer with. Once again, don't listen anyone. Just try it. If someone like me tell you, "Oh, Gore-Tex is the best. I would like to have a Gore-Tex suit," don't listen anyone. Try this Gore-Tex, because we are all different. I might tolerate anything up to 35 degrees with Gore-Tex, but for you, everything over 25 might be disaster. Depends on that, what kind of body you have, how much you're sweating, and all of that stuff. Some people cannot hold Gore-Tex on anything over 20 degrees. I discussed this topic with the guy who is going to give me the motorcycle in South America, Thomas, when I was in Germany last month. And he said that for him, Gore-Tex is fantastic until 20-25 degrees. After that, he sweat a lot and he cannot hold it at all. But I'm perfectly fine with my Gore-Tex suit, even with the very heavy Gore-Tex suit with the 3 layers that I have, Dominator GTX, up to 35 degrees. So I'll be perfectly fine with my new Gore-Tex suit, 2 layers that I have now, this Echelon on South America, up to 35 degrees. But we're all different, so don't listen anyone. Once again, go to the shop, try it, see how you feel. If you have a friend with this type of riding gear, you can swap it while you ride and test it for a few hours to see how you feel with this Gore-Tex suit. Don't listen to anyone. The best way is to try it. And don't make compromises with your helmet, jacket, pants, gloves and boots. Because on the long trips, you're gonna wear them for many hours every day, day after day, week after week, month after month. So wrong gear choice is going to be very bad to have on long trips. You're gonna feel everything, every piece of it. And learn about the riding conditions in advance. It's part of the preparation, part of the plan Number 4, traveling without any plans. But if you know in advance that is going to be very hot area with temperatures over 35 or 40 degrees, better is to prepare yourself with the correct gear. But if you go there with something that is not suitable, let's say very heavy winter jacket with not good ventilation and all of these membranes inside, and you will boil yourself in these conditions. That's why it's so important. Nothing worse than bad gear on a long trip. Once again, don't listen to anyone. Check very well all of your gear and learn about the riding conditions. Let's go to mistake number 7, which is try to ride and work at the same time. I have done this many times, and I can tell you for sure that it is not pleasure at all. It will ruin your trip. Definitely will ruin your trip, because if you travel with a few friends or a group, later in the evening when you stop riding, everyone will go out, chill, drink some beer, discussing the day or making plans for the next day, but you have to go back to your room and work on your computer or your telephone or whatever your work requires. And this is not a pleasure at all, because your brain is not there. Your brain now is on the trip, but you have to focus on the job, and this is very, very difficult. As I said, I've done it a few times and it was terrible. I don't want to do it again. And also the result that you might expect from your job are not going to be the same, because you're not there 100%. As I said, your brain is now riding, but you want to work and it's not gonna work. So don't try to work and travel at the same time. You can do it only if you have a lot of time. If you have a lot of time, if you can afford, let's say, to travel 2-3 days or all week, and then spend 2 or 3 days working, fine. Or many people, I have seen a few people that they work 5 days per week. They work somewhere. They, for example, they take a room in the hotel for 5 days. They stay in the hotel for 5 days. They work, and then Saturday and Sunday they are free and they travel to the next town or the next hotel. And then 5 days they stay in the hotel, work, and then travel only Saturday or Sundays. Or some people work 1 day and they have 1 day off, like a shift. Then they use the day that they work, they stay in the hotel, and then the next day to travel. In this situation, it might be work for you, might be maybe a good option, because you'll still earn some money and travel at the same time, but not in the first situation that I mentioned. Number 8. I've seen so many people make this mistake. They try to imitate other travelers. And this is a huge mistake, because everyone got different skills, different expectations, and different type of ridings. If you try to go to the same tracks that someone been before that, it doesn't mean that you will be able to do it, because, as I said, the differences in the skills, motorcycles, and the whole general preparation on you. Trying to do the same thing that they did might convert to something really bad, because you might not have enough skills or balls to do it. That's why this is a huge mistake, and don't even try to do it. Stay away from the hype. This also comes with all of this social media. You see one person being, oh, he visited this place, I would like to visit it as well. I don't have his skills, but I'm gonna try it. Why? Because you just want to be to that place, or just you really want to see that place. So don't try to imitate others. Not because someone been there. If you visit a place, a specific place, visit it for yourself. Not because someone already been there, or you want to have a picture on social media. Do your own plans and always follow it. Again, we're going back to the plans. And mistake number 9 is wrong travel timing. What I mean by that, start the days too late, or finish the date too late. Let me explain a little bit more. If you start your day at 10 or 11 because you prefer to sleep until 9, and then to have a slow breakfast, and then to go to the toilet, have another round coffee and maybe a couple of cigarettes, and then the time will be 10 or 11 o'clock. If you start at 11 o'clock, you're gonna limit the whole riding day, unless you prefer to ride in the night. And even if you prefer to ride in the night, on some stage you should have a hotel, you should sleep somewhere. But if you ride until the last moment, until it's get dark, 50% or 70% of the hotels will be already booked, so it's going to be very difficult for you to find a room. And after a few days you will realize that you're losing a lot of time seeing nothing, and you don't have enough progress. So my advice is always start early as possible for you, and try to cover the kilometers that you plan for the day, and then take a hotel as early as possible, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon maximum, and then you're gonna have more than enough time to relax and be ready for the next day. If you don't have enough time to relax, if you go to bed 12 or 1 o'clock in the evening, you cannot wake up before 8 or 9 next morning, and the whole process will repeat. Slow breakfast, toilet, cigarettes, coffees, and then will be the same over and over and over again. And at the end, I can guarantee that you're not gonna have a good progress. I have seen this many times with some of my riding friends. There are some exceptions on this early morning rides, and one of them is Australia, where you cannot really ride early morning because of the kangaroos on the road. So you have to change your plans, and it's exactly what I did in Australia. It doesn't matter that I wanted to start very early, I just cannot, because you cannot ride early morning because of the kangaroos. They are everywhere, and to make an accident is very easy. And another good exception will be if the weather is very cold. So if it's very cold early morning, you cannot really start. All the roads will be extremely cold. The asphalt might be frozen in many places, especially if it's rain and convert to snow. So in some situations you might need to wait a little bit longer, but usually we travel in nice weather in the summer, and early start is something like a number one priority for me. And the mistake number 10, the last mistake that I plan to tell you for this stream, is to have too detailed plan. Even though I talk about how important is the plan, planning every day, every stop, every meal, and every hotel is just too much. When I set to have a good plan in advance, I mean it to have like a basic plan. You will start from here and eventually you will finish there. And basic points on the roads, what you want to see and how many kilometers in general you want to cover. But it doesn't mean to have a plan for every stop, every food, every hotel, every restaurant you want to eat. No, absolutely not. Too many things like that will ruin your trip, because you will work always on pedals, on schedule. Okay, what is the next point? No, I have 200 kilometers to the next point. I'm not gonna have lunch now because I booked this restaurant after 200 kilometers. I'm gonna have it there. All of this is madness. Don't do it. You'll convert your trip like a job, and this is going to be hard. So I, for example, never book hotels in advance. Never ever. Also, never plan food stops in advance. Never ever. So the hotels I book when I realize that I am already finished my day. When I am, let's say I plan to visit Sofia. I'm from Varna. I plan to visit Sofia. This is 400 kilometers. And somewhere around 350 kilometers, I'll try to find a place to sleep in Sofia, because I'll be 50 kilometers away. I know that I'll be able to do it, and I can book a hotel. But I'm not gonna book a hotel when I'm in Varna for Sofia, because I still have 400 kilometers to travel. Something might happen on the road. I might have a breakdown situation, or I might see some interesting spot that I would like to spend the night, but I will do it in last moment, in very last moment, not in last minute actually, but 100 kilometers before the town. I'll try to find something to sleep. This is how I do it all the time. About the food, I never worry about it, because there is food everywhere around the world. You don't need even to worry about it. You always find something to eat. Especially if you don't have problem with money, then it's not a problem at all. You don't need to book any restaurants. There are some exceptions, only if you're in a big group, a really big group, 7, 8, 10, 12 or 20 people, then you really need to book everything in advance, even restaurants, because otherwise you might not be able to find a hotel or place to eat, because you're just too many people. But if you're alone or a few people, never do it in advance. And one bonus tip, guys, travel alone, especially in the beginning. I know that for many people sounds very scary to travel alone, and they will feel much better if they travel in the group. But if you travel alone, you will learn much faster. You will learn more and you will learn it faster. No one will see your mistakes. Even if you do mistakes, no one will see it. They will be just for you to learn from your mistakes and continue traveling without these mistakes anymore. And you will enjoy it way more. Because for me, the process of all of this is very important. The process is important. Yeah, I always said that I would like to have a main goal, like the trip to Magadan. The main goal was Magadan, and I would like to reach there and to see my goal or to complete my goal, but I really enjoyed the process. And because I was alone, I can spend whatever time I want, I can stop when I want, and I can travel with 50 kilometers per hour if I think that is too dangerous. But when you travel right in the group, it's a little bit more complicated. That's why I said, bonus tip, just travel alone. You will learn much more and you will learn it faster. That's everything that I planned for today's speech, guys. Now, if you have something to add or if you have any questions, please do it so. As I told you, many people might benefit from information that we discussed here. Even though some things might sound very, very obvious to us because we travel a lot, but it's not the same for many other people. Richard, don't avoid trying your loaded bike and all your kit before you thinking even it will be okay. Have a practice, you will learn more than you think. Yeah, absolutely. Make some practice at home. Try your motorcycle with everything on it, just to have some practice and to know how you feel. William, on additional mistake on then trying to take a longer trip than your experience skill will allow you. Start small, try to overnight, less from home. Yeah, this is also very, very important to start with short trips. It's part of the overall preparation. Don't try to go to at the end of the world if you don't have any experience, because your first trip is going to be a mistake. Your motorcycle is going to be a mistake. Your gear is going to be a mistake. Everything is going to be a mistake. And if you make a mistake with 200 or 500 kilometers, it's fine. But if you make a mistake on the trip that is going to last 10 or 20,000 kilometers, it's difficult. As your experience builds, you can extend your lane slowly. Don't do like that more. Yeah, absolutely. Do it slowly. Learn slowly. This is exactly what I did. I started with very short trips. My first trip was 220 kilometers. And then every time extended a little bit, maybe day trip, 3 days trip, 1 week trip, then longer and longer and longer. When you feel confident, when you have the experience, when you have some practice, you can always extend it. Richard, if you travel with others and you need getting along, split up. It's your tip and you should enjoy it. Yes, it's a good advice. This means basically that when you prepare your luggage, your maps and everything that you need for the trip, you have to be sure that you have everything with you to continue alone. Because if you don't do well with the group, you can always split and continue your own ride only if you have everything with you. Because I have seen people travel together, so one person carries the tent, the second person carries the spare parts, so they cannot really split because they split the luggage, they split the duties and all of these things, and they have to travel alone even if they don't do it so well together. That's why it's so important to be prepared to continue alone. That's a good advice. Of course, there are so many different mistakes, but I thought that these are the basics that you really need to understand in advance. Local advice is best. Sometimes don't ignore it. Absolutely, locals know best. It's like a absolutely must to communicate with locals. If you don't speak the language, you can use some Google Translate or something, because they might give you a lot of information about closed roads or dangerous roads, dangerous areas, or places that are not really worth to see. So you're not going to waste your time. You're not going to risk much. So local advice is priceless. That's why I always try to connect with as much as possible local people and learn from them about their countries. Now, for example, if you plan to visit Bulgaria, doesn't matter how much time you're gonna spend searching online, you cannot have more information than me because I'm Bulgarian. Or maybe you can find some roads that I don't know, but the basic information about the country will be always better on my side. Come on, guys. Any other advice or maybe questions on any topic? William, Richard, we have another one person. He is not in the chat. Who is this? Who is this guy? Keep in contact with your loved ones. They worry about you and you'll happy to see you again and check in. Yeah, this is another good topic. Make sure that you contact at home every time, every day, every few hours, whatever agreements you have with your family. But just make sure that they understand where you are at the moment, what is your condition, what is your plan for the future. So if something happens, at least someone will know where you have been and what is the situation and where you plan to go and all stuff like that. It will be very important also peace of mind for them as well, because next time when you plan to travel again, they will know that you will contact them all the time and everything is going to be alright. Yeah, plan your communications with the family before you leave. Yeah, it's a good advice as well. Nowadays it's not that difficult. Now we have internet, we have Viber, WhatsApp, messengers, all of that stuff, so you can easily contact everywhere around the world if you have internet. If you don't have internet at the moment during the days, right, you can have it later in the evening when you book a hotel, or you can have it on almost every petrol station. So nowadays it's not that difficult to travel. Years ago was different because of the high prices of everything. Trash bags make great rain gear in the pinch. Yeah, absolutely. I've done it many times and they saved my feet many times, many times. Hi Pavel. I'm Adam, Romanian guy from UK. Nice to meet you here. Adam, first time here, I guess. If you really want to see something, make the effort to go. When you'll go back again. Yeah, absolutely. If you're very close to something, go and visit it, because you probably never go back again. Even if it requires a little bit more kilometers or a little bit more walking or a little bit more planning or day more, just do it, because you will regret after that if you don't do it. I know this from my personal experience. There are some places that I skipped on my plans and now I regret it. Adam, is this your first time here? You're just sitting and watching, never commenting. Fair enough. I hope you find it useful. Everything we discuss here, it's with this idea to help eventually someone who wants to travel, or someone who might have some questions and wondering about this or that. That's why I made this live streams. First, to appreciate my channel members and patrons. Secondly, to eventually help many people that are not having the questions. Stop to help bikers if need, they might need help one day. Absolutely, every time when I see a motorcycle on the road, I always stop and offer my help. I do it even with the cars, because you never know what help they might need. It might be just a two hands to help them to do something. So always stop on the road and ask people if they need something. William Robis, part of the planning is the work you do before you leave. Make sure your motorcycle is prepared. This is a great advice as well. Preparation before the trip, or maintenance before the trip, is something that I always do, and I always explain people to do it. This might save you a lot of money. At least it will give you a peace of mind. If something happens after that, you will know that you've done what you can, and if something happens, shit happens. Adam Lucas, very useful. All the time is something to learn. Yeah, the men learn its own life. And when the fat lady sing, you learn everything. It's a diploma for you learn everything. Yeah. Yeah, this is the idea. As I said, Adam, I hope that many more people will start riding, will start traveling, will change their perspective, will change their opinion. And this will make all people around the world much better. They will just open their minds. They're not gonna see the world like something very scary, very dangerous. they're gonna see so many interesting things. They will meet so many interesting people, wonderful people, and in general, they will enjoy their life much more. At least this is what's happened with me. And unfortunately, I'm addicted to it, and now I have to live with this addiction. But I think that from all addictions that you might have, this one is one of the best. Alright guys, I plan to end the stream here. See you next week. Once again, if you have an idea about the topic for the next week, please write it down here or in the one of the social networks that I have. I will be glad if I can talk about it and discuss it next week with you. Until then, all the best, keep smiling, keep riding. Thank you very much for supporting the channel, supporting myself, and see you next week. Ciao.